Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video. Today we're going to do a character guide on Lilisette, and this is Lilisette just getting her FR. She's a very good character. I do really like her. I've talked about her banner. I think her banner is actually pretty low value, but as a nice piece for someone that has extra resources, I think she is a decent pickup. You know, she's kind of a luxury piece, right? But she's really cool. We're going to talk about her in this video. Mine is max investment, so you're going to see like a max invested Lilisette here. So for those of you unfamiliar with her, basically she is a battery support, and then she also does some very key debuffs. And she has a very flexible force time. That's kind of like the gist of what she does in a nutshell. So we'll talk about all that. So in this video, we're going to look at her calls, her artifacts, and her spheres. So I want to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and start with her calls here. Her calls are actually quite good. Her calls are something I use quite a bit, and they are worth summoning for. And actually with her upgrade, her calls actually got a lot better, okay? So the first thing is when she comes in, she's going to put a really important debuff, and it's now something that she gets at default when she just appears, as opposed to just when she uses the LD. So what happened is she has a really cool debuff called Linchpin Between the Ages. Now before, you only got this on the LD, but now with her upgrade, you're going to get on the 15 and the LD, which makes her calls twice as valuable, right? Because then you can get more turns of this. This debuff, the big thing is it does HP damage taken plus 20% to the enemies. So we all know some of the most valuable calls in the game are HP damage up. They just make your party hit harder, so they're very, very good. So I would say for that alone, it's really good. And then it also applies a really nice sap on the enemy. So you're getting like basically like a brave poison, and you're getting HP damage up. Now on the 15 specifically, which is Sensual Dance, this is going to do a max brave up to the caller, and then it's going to apply an attack down, magic attack down, and a sap on the enemies. So just by pressing the 15, you're putting 4 debuffs on. And there are some times where you like debuff calls. You want to fill the enemy up with debuff slots. So it's a very good call there. And then on the LD, you're going to get a max brave up, an overflow stolen, and HP regen. And it heals the party. So we've got a healing call. It's going to put that really good debuff on, and you get HP regen to the caller. So this call is stacked. Like, there's like everything about her attacks that she does on both of them are very, very good. So if you're someone that's like, you really need some good calls to use and you don't have any, like, if you want to pop in and try to snag that LD, I wouldn't blame you, because this is a very top tier call, I would say, in the game. Very, very good call. So now let's go ahead and look at Lilisette herself. Now you can see mine is max FR, blue armor, force enhanced 30. I got max spheres, and I think I have probably the best setup for spheres. So I'm going to talk about that, but let's go to artifacts first. Now, the thing with Lilisette, she's not your typical artifact build. Your typical artifact build is attack 108, max brave 330, or attack 108 and C50. Her being like such an in-tune battery support character, her top tier call, or her artifact, I'm going to say, is max brave 330 and her C50. And the reason why is almost every button she presses batteries, and most of her battery scales on max brave. Now attack is a little important because she does do some battery based on the HP damage she deals, but for the most part, like, you want the max brave battery, and it's going to give her more brave to be able to store up. So max brave is probably Lilisette's most important stat, so you want to prioritize that. And then Moonshade Butterfly Boost is a must. That's the C50, because this is a party support. So this is going to do party brave, max brave, attack, and defense by 5%. So you stack 3 of these, right? And then she's going to be getting max brave 990, and the whole party's getting 15% to all stats. Ridiculous. The artifacts are very important here on Lilisette. If you can get that set up, that is exactly what I would aim for right there. And then for artifacts, artifacts what we just did. And then for spheres, I just love the artifacts so much I want to talk about them twice. To me, I think what I've got listed here is probably her best setup. So C slot, 100% you want Paladin Cecil. 2 reasons you want this. One is by nature she's a battery character, and this is a good battery sphere. And the second reason is she has encouragement armor, which means she kind of gets the Paladin Cecil cheese where this battery's better than it should when there is brave reductions happening, brave gain reduction. So Paladin Cecil to me is top tier #1 C slot sphere. This is pretty much what you want. If not, you could go with just like another battery sphere. Her own is pretty decent too, so like you could do her own. It depends on what you have, but look for like a battery type sphere. You could do like Alphanod, Maria if you just want to do like a general party attack, which those are more standard. But I would say you want to go Brave Gain with her. I've talked about this before, right? But the way I like to build my characters is I look at what are they best at or what are they meant to do, and I like to enhance that rather than try to sprinkle in different effects and make them good at a bunch of things. I like to take what they're the best at and improve that. So her role is battery, so I'm going to focus battery. That's the way I'm going to build my Lilisette. Now, on the D slot, once again, Max Brave is her most important stat, but we all know that party attack is really good too. So to me, Hope is like top tier right here. So Hope is Max Brave and attack up. That Max Brave attack combo is really good on Lilisette because we already know that attack is probably the most common thing I recommend, especially for the party. But since Max Brave is so important to her, getting both of those on one is just the best, right? It's the bee's knees, as they would say. That's what you want there. Now, obviously, if you don't have that, go with a party attack up if you can. You could go with something for Max Brave if you want to. Just look at your spheres and see what you have. And then the E slot, I really like Yuffie because this is another Max Brave and attack up, and it's while applying a debuff. Lilisette debuffs on like most of her attacks, so she's constantly debuffing. Very easy to upkeep this. I think Yuffie is easily best in slot here. That's the one I like. Now, if you want to go a little bit trickier and you want to say add an extra debuff or an aura type one, maybe you want an aura speed down or you want that aura extra poison to go on top of her sap, you could do that. But to me, I'm going all Max Brave on this build. So pretty much everything I'm doing is Brave gains or Max Brave. And then when I can, I'm sprinkling in that party attack up, right? To me, this is like top tier, best built Lilisette you can have. So anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to hop in and we're going to do a little showcase here. Now, I am doing like a weird like full support build, but this is my typical showcase build just because Luna Freya makes everybody look better and then Rem just to constantly give her turns. But what this is going to show is basically how her FR is so flexible. She basically can throw down any team build and she's going to get like the best out of her FR. That is something I like about her, and I do feel like that's the way. I don't even think I need to bring in a friend here. I'm not even going to putz with it. I'm not going to worry about like launch damage or anything. But this is the way you build like a support type FR, where it's not an FR where like you necessarily want that character to take all the turns, because Lilisette's not like a crazy damage dealer. So she has an FR that you can put in the hands of any damage dealer and you're going to do good damage, right? And I've talked about that. So let's take Rem right away, and sure, let's I guess I don't need to swap to Lilisette. No, we won't actually. Well, let's go ahead and like, sure, let's pop like an LD. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw some debuffs down. And debuffs are important and you'll find out why in a minute. But let's go ahead and pop some debuffs. So some debuff calls that I brought here are like Caius, Ferris, and Amiditelian. Basically with her FR, you're going to want a lot of debuffs, so you may need to bring a call to do that. But we'll talk about it. All right, let's go ahead and just take a turn. Just let these attacks fly through. So what I like about Lilisette is she's got battery, she's got debuffing, and she has just enough healing that she could get by as your main healer, right? So she is very good. She's got the HP regen, but then she has that big burst heal on her LD when you need it, right? So Lilisette, there isn't like a set turn order you have to do. So I can literally just go through and kind of explain her skills. So let's start with the 35, which is Sensual Dance. And this is a free instant turn. And it is going to do a nice little battery, and it is a force charging move. So you see, she is also a force charger. So Lilisette can be your all-in-one support character once again, while carrying some good debuffs. So what Sensual Dance does is it does a big party battery, and it does scale off Max Brave. That's why it's important. It does a party Max Brave up, and then it's going to apply 3 debuffs to the enemies. Attack down, magic attack down, and a sap. So you can see the enemies now just like loaded with debuffs like instantly, right? Let's go ahead and do Whirling Edge. And by the way, when you're kind of doing filler like attacks, her main attacks are going to be the 15 and the EX. That's pretty much the 2 buttons she does for damage. So let's go ahead and do Whirling Edge. Alright, and about 500k AoE. That's pretty decent damage for like a support character, right? So this does another Brave gain, scaled off of Max Brave, does the AoE full HP attacks. We got really good damage. So like, if that was 3 enemies, we would have 500k to all of them, right? And then that also does a party battery. Now this party battery does scale off HP damage, right? But her personal Brave gain is still on Max Brave on that. And then she gets a speed up and the enemies get a speed down. So it's going to make her a little bit quicker, right? Alright, so let's go with Luna Freya here, and let's pop an energy heal. And then let's go ahead and just do like a quick prayer, just to give Lilisette a little something something. And then sure, why not, let's get a little heavy prayer going. Let's go ahead and just pop an LD. We'll kind of see what kind of damage Lilisette does like when properly supported here. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and just spam. And we can do a little force charging here while we're at it, since we've got Luna Freya kind of going. Because we do want to get to Lilisette's FR. So might as well spam some turns here. And then obviously I do want to... sure, we'll do Diamond Dust here. Once again, applying more debuffs. Now I'm going like overkill here on the debuffs. I just want to make sure the enemies are fully debuffed. But obviously you plan out your fight a little bit more. Make sure that your important debuffs are there. But what I will say about the debuffs, right? Oh, we got another quick prayer or heavy prayer. I don't really need it. So let's just go ahead and get the BT effect up. What I like about Lilisette is what you're going to find with her force time is you want the enemies to have 8 debuffs. And Lilisette is providing 5, which is good. Now, you would normally say, well, 5 debuffs can get cloggy, right, when you're team building. But what I like about Lilisette is only 1 out of the 5 are framed, and the other 4 are just kind of generic. Like, they're good enough to, like, make an impact, but they're not so good that you don't care if you overwrite them. So what I like is she's providing 5 debuffs, which you want to fill up debuffs for her FR, but she's not cloggy because it's very easy just to overwrite those with other framed debuffs. So I think she's built very well in that manner, right? So we've got Lilisette going here. So we've got like free instant turn. So sure, let's Sensual Dance again, and we can kind of force charge with that a little bit. And then let's go ahead and show off. So we've already done the 15 and 35. So let's go ahead and show the LD. So this is Vivifying Waltz and Rudra Storm. So let's go ahead and pop that. And let's see what kind of damage. This does do the burst heal, which is very good. And big AoE attack, about 800k, right? So her attack numbers aren't blowing you away, but remember, it's all the support and battery she's doing that's really making her good. So once again, we got the burst heal, we got party battery scaled on Max Brave, does the big attack. She gives a buff called Vivifying Waltz. So this buff is going to be a party Max Brave and HP damage up, so that's very good. Brave gains an overflow gain up, and then crit damage and HP regen. So that's very, very good that we've got all that packed into there. And then it puts the debuff I talked about that was so good about her call. So once again, that debuff is called Linchpin Between the Ages. And this is HP damage taken up 20% to the enemies. That's huge, right? And then a big fat sap on the enemy. So very, very good debuff that we have going there. And basically now we can kind of show off the EX. So let's pop that. This should be good damage. Let's see what the EX is looking like here. See what kind of damage we got on our EX. And we'll talk about what it's doing here in a second. Okay, yeah, so 1.5 mil. It is single target, but we'll take 1.5 mil for sure. We will take that. And here you can see, like, well, so that break was not Lilisette, by the way. That was from Caius's debuff. But she does have, like, that sap at the end, but Caius kind of ruined that for us. That's okay. Let's go ahead and swap back into Lilisette and get her going again. Okay, but now let's talk about what else this EX does. So it did, once again, party battery scaled on Max Brave, so common theme, right? This is why Max Brave is so important on her. It does restore a use of her skill 1. So that Whirling Edge, you can spam that like crazy. You shouldn't ever have to do an HP plus attack with her, because every time she gets an EX, you're restoring a skill use of it. So there's no reason Whirling Edge should ever be running out. So spam the 15 as much as you want, and then she gets a buff called Rousing Samba. And what this is going to do is going to do an attack and Max Brave up for herself, and then a party attack up and crit rate 100%. Now that is very important, okay? So just keep that in mind as we talk about her force time. So let's go ahead and sure, let's show off her force charging. Let's Sensual Dance all the way back in. And once again, applying all those debuffs we need. So we're going to keep doing that. So battery and debuff. Very, very good. And now we're at 100%. So now we can go into the force. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. And I just want to double check. So yeah, her force is not instant turn rate. Let's go ahead and pop it here. And she partners up with Penelo, which is perfect because they're both dancers, right? So it totally makes sense. I know some people have said they're summoning for Lilisette just for the animation here. Alright, so yeah, a mil AoE. We take that. Alright, so let's get into the nitty gritty. So why is Lilisette's FR so good, right? So basically the attack did a, once again, big party battery. Did that big 1 mil AoE attack as you saw here. The other thing is during the force time, the party is going to have brave gains up and enemies are going to be speed down. So you're going to be going a little bit quicker, enemies are going to be slowed down a little bit, and you're going to have bigger brave gains. Now this is why her force time is so good. Literally her force time, you can only get 70% a shot, okay, which isn't the craziest, but 70% is solid. The thing is it's basically all for free, like so easy. The first one is 30% for dealing crit brave damage. Well, as I just mentioned, with her Rousing Samba buff, she's giving 100% crit rate to the party. So you are critting non-stop. So that's literally for free, you're just getting 30%. Then the other one is attacking a debuffed enemy 5% per debuff. So 8 debuffs times 5 is 40%. So as long as you have debuffs on, and once again, all you have to do, you don't even have to worry about your team building so much. Your team most of the time will naturally get it because she's providing 5. You only need 3 more. But even if your party isn't naturally getting there, you literally just bring a call or two and it's so easy to fill those up. And so then basically, as long as your party member is just attacking the enemy and they're debuffed, you're getting 70%. So let's try it out. So let's do Rem. And let's have Rem pop the LD here. And we should get, and some characters get like extra bonuses. So it might be a little bit over 70% here. Yeah, 73%, right? And then we get the Siphon Sphere, which is good. Now, it doesn't work on off turn. That would be busted if it worked on off turn. But you can see now, I can pretty much bring in any team comp, and as long as they're debuffed, I just attack the enemy. So as long as I'm attacking the enemy, we're all good. So like right here, I could bring Luna Freya. Let's pop an LD and give Luna Freya a few turns in a row. And Luna Freya should be popping at least 70% every attack, right? So there we go, 73%. Very consistent, very easy, like you just can't miss this FR. Sure, let's do a Frigid Fubuki. Should be 73% or in that range, right? 78, so we had a little bit extra bonus on that one. So you're going to be 70% or higher every time you press a button. The only thing is your button has to be attacking the enemy, right? Now, what I could do is I could do like so like if I did a force charging move that doesn't attack, you're just basically going to get like the 50% or whatever because you have to attack the enemy for this to trigger, right? You have to do crit damage and attack the debuffed enemy. So as long as you're attacking, you're going to get it. Let's just attack again. And so we're going to let Luna Freya just build up the gauge and then we can let Lilisette take some shots. But this is why this is so good because as you saw, Lilisette's damage isn't the craziest. So, but the idea is you could just bring some type of balanced team or no matter what you're doing, it's very easy. Or you bring Lilisette and like say Tifa, right? And then you have another support character. You can pop her FR, let a character or two attack, and then when it's Tifa's turn, pop her burst phase, and you're going to get good damage, 70% to shot, without having to worry about setup is so nice. Because this is basically like a setup free thing that you don't have to do. So let's pop a summon. Okay. And then sure, 7 mil AoE. We're up to 576, very good. And then sure, let's pop the EX here. Should be very good damage now that the gauge is up a little bit. Once again, the batteries are crazy. Yeah, so about 9 mil right there. So yeah, sure. I know Enna Crow's going to make everybody seem weak when they're not hitting 60 mil. But, you know, this is good. And once again, the thing we're really showcasing here isn't necessarily the sheer damage. It's just showing, you know, Rem and Luna Freya could literally be anybody, and we're still triggering this the same. Once again, you just have to attack. So let's go ahead and finish here. Let's go ahead and do Diamond Dust. And here's the thing. You can see me here. This is still, even though this is like the first Shinryu fight that ever came out, it's still a Shinryu fight. They still have a lot of HP. And you can see here, basically without trying, I'm pretty much burning through this fight, and I don't even have like a true DPS. So like at 795, if I brought like a big time DPS attack, they would just melt. Let's go ahead and finish off with a Lilisette LD here. Let's get a bunch of damage. And there we go, 6 mil AoE, one of the enemies is toast. And there it is. So anyways, guys, there's Lilisette in her FR. I think she is very, very cool, very nice, flexible FR. That's why I like it. It's an FR I want in my arsenal. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.